$1,000. That's what I paid for a set of top-tier premium tires rated for 60,000 miles on my Honda. At just 18,000 miles, a tire tech pulled me into the service bay and told me they were completely done, worn straight down to the wear bars, not safe to drive in the rain. I did everything by the book, checked the pressure every single month, rotated them every 5,000 miles, kept the air at exactly 32 PSI just like the sticker on the Honda door jamb said to do. The tech looked at me and asked one simple question: "What pressure are you running in these?" 32, I said, exactly what the factory sticker says. He just shook his head. "There's your problem right there," he told me. That conversation completely destroyed everything I thought I knew about maintaining a car. What I found out afterward about why that 32 PSI number is actually on your Honda's door, who really put it there, and who profits every single time you follow it, is exactly what this video is about. Today, I'm exposing 7 things the tire industry desperately doesn't want you to figure out on your own. By the end of this video, that little white sticker on your driver's side door is going to look very different to you. And the very last one on this list isn't about air pressure at all. It's about a critical decision most Honda drivers make before they even walk up to the air pump, one that quietly costs you more money than every other mistake on this list combined. Don't skip it. Point 1. The door sticker lie. Here's what nobody tells you when you drive a new Honda off the lot. That number printed on your door jamb, 32 PSI, is not the optimal pressure for your tires. Not even close. That number was calculated by corporate liability lawyers covering a worst-case scenario that almost never applies to how you actually drive your car. Think about what that worst-case scenario looks like. 5 full-grown adults in the vehicle, a trunk stuffed to the brim with heavy luggage, merging onto a concrete highway at 75 miles per hour in the dead of August heat. That is the exact situation that 32 PSI number was engineered for. It is the absolute minimum pressure needed to safely support the vehicle's maximum rated weight capacity without the tire physically failing. Now, think about how you actually drive your Honda. Most of the time, it's just you, maybe a single passenger, and some groceries in the back. Your car is consistently carrying hundreds of pounds less than its maximum rated capacity, and that completely changes everything about what pressure your tires actually need to live a long life. Here's what happens when you run 32 PSI in a lightly loaded commuter car. The tire cannot hold its proper structural shape. The sidewalls flex and sag too much. The exact center of the tread actually lifts slightly off the pavement, like an underinflated balloon. The outer sides firmly touch the ground while the center hovers just above it. Because of this, all of the vehicle's weight shifts directly to the outer edges. Those outer shoulders do all the hard work, all the gripping and all the wearing, while the center tread just rides along completely untouched. That's exactly why my tires looked half new in the center and completely bald on the shoulders at just 18,000 miles. And here's the question that kept eating at me after I left that service shop. If running the factory door sticker pressure destroys tires thousands of miles faster, who benefits? Not you. You're stuck buying a brand new set of tires 20,000 or 30,000 miles early. But somebody is making a clean $1,000 every single time you do. We'll come back to exactly who is cashing those checks in a minute, but first, what is the actual number you should be running?
Point 2. The correct pressure they never tell you. The right pressure for your tires has almost nothing to do with your specific car. It has everything to do with the tire itself. And the real number you need to know is already stamped on your tire right now. You've just never been told to look for it. After this video, walk out to your driveway, find the tire sidewall, the side facing out at you, and look closely for the words max press or maximum pressure. On most standard passenger car tires fitted to a Honda, you'll see something like max press 51 PSI. That high number is what your tire is actually engineered to handle safely, not 32, not 35, 51. Here's where the math gets incredibly interesting. The optimal pressure for perfectly even tread wear, the best possible fuel economy, and the sharpest handling sits roughly 10 to 15% below that stamped maximum. For most standard passenger car tires with a 51 PSI maximum, that mathematical sweet spot lands directly between 38 and 42 PSI, not 32, 38 to 42. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. That sounds dangerously high. If you've spent your entire life setting the pump to 32, then hitting 40 sounds like you're about to blow the tire right off the rim. So let's put this into real perspective. If your tire is rated for a 51 PSI maximum and you are running it at 40 PSI, you aren't even using 80% of its rated structural capacity. You are not overinflating anything. You are simply running the tire closer to the shape it was actually designed to perform in. The door sticker pressure isn't optimized for your tire's longevity. It's optimized for lawyers. After I replaced my prematurely destroyed set, I ran a strict experiment. Same brand, same tire model, same daily driving habits. Only one single variable changed: the pressure. I ran 40 PSI instead of 32. I've now put 35,000 miles on that exact set, and they are wearing perfectly flat and even across the entire tread block, not a single hint of edge wear. At this current rate, they will easily exceed 70,000 miles, nearly 4 times what I got from the first set following the Honda door sticker. That is hundreds of dollars saved every single year just from ignoring that little door jamb number. But here's what almost everyone gets wrong after learning this. They set their tire pressure correctly one time, and then they completely forget about it. And that's exactly where the next massive trap catches them. Wait, if this video has already taught you something new, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right now. The very next tip upgrades your car's safety instantly. Point 3. The TPMS trap. So you set your tires to 40 PSI, you feel good about it, and somewhere in the back of your mind you're thinking, if anything goes wrong, my dashboard's tire pressure monitoring light will catch it. It won't, not when it actually matters for your wallet. Here's how a modern tire pressure monitoring system actually works. That warning light on your dash only triggers when the air pressure drops a massive 25% below the factory recommended level. If your door sticker says 32 PSI, that warning light will stay completely dark until you hit approximately 24 PSI. 24 PSI is not a friendly maintenance reminder. That is an absolute safety emergency. At 24 PSI, your tire sidewalls are flexing so severely that the friction heat buildup alone can cause a sudden, catastrophic blowout on the highway. Your stopping distance has increased dramatically, your handling is severely compromised in ways you can't even feel until something goes horribly wrong. By the time that dashboard light finally comes on, you've already been silently destroying your tire's shoulders for weeks, maybe months, while driving around thinking everything was completely fine. Your TPMS is a smoke detector. It doesn't beep when your cooking gets a little smoky. It screams when the kitchen is already on fire. That dashboard light isn't there to help you maintain correct pressure for tire longevity. It exists purely to prevent a high-speed accident. Those are two completely different jobs. So what actually watches your pressure between emergencies? You do, with a gauge. A good digital tire pressure gauge costs about $15 online. Check your tires once a month before you drive anywhere. Morning checks only. The heat generated from just a few miles of driving artificially inflates the reading and completely hides the real pressure drop. $15 and 5 minutes a month. That is the only thing actually protecting your tires between drives. But even monthly checks can't stop what's coming next, and it catches millions of drivers completely off guard every single winter.
Point 4. The seasonal pressure drain. You set your tires to a perfect 40 PSI in September. Feels great. You're doing it right. Then November hits. The outside temperatures plummet. Your car starts feeling just a little soft in the corners. You grab your digital gauge, press it to the valve stem, and it reads 34 PSI. You lost 6 full pounds of pressure without touching a single thing. This isn't a slow puncture leak. This is basic physics. For every 10-degree drop in outside temperature, the air inside your tires contracts, costing you approximately 1 PSI. A normal 50-degree seasonal temperature swing will cost you 5 to 6 PSI without a leak, without a nail, without anything happening to your tires at all.
That 40 PSI you proudly set in August naturally becomes 34 or 35 by December. In a harsh winter, it could easily drop to 30 PSI by January. In your Honda's TPMS light, quietly waiting for that catastrophic 24 PSI threshold won't say a single word to you. There are 2 specific times of the year you need to check your pressure more than once a month. The first 2 weeks of autumn, when the seasonal temperatures start dropping fast, and the first 2 weeks of spring, when the weather swings right back up. Pressure can move 2 to 3 PSI in a single week during these seasonal transitions. That is fast enough to cause real, permanent shoulder damage before your next standard monthly check catches it. Your manual gauge is the only thing watching out for you, not the door sticker, not the digital dashboard, you. And speaking of things explicitly designed to look like advanced protection while doing absolutely nothing for your wallet, the next one costs you $40 every single time you fall for it. Point 5. The nitrogen scam. You've undoubtedly seen this green valve cap gimmick at dealerships and big tire chains. Nitrogen tire inflation for $5 to $10 per tire. They tell you with a straight face that nitrogen maintains pressure better, doesn't fluctuate with outside temperature, and drastically extends your tire life. It sounds incredibly scientific, it sounds premium, and it costs you $40 across 4 tires. Here's what they don't tell you. Regular atmospheric air is already 78% nitrogen. You are paying $40 for an extra 20% purity. That is the entire product. The actual measurable real-world difference. Pure nitrogen retains pressure roughly 1 PSI better than regular air over the course of an entire year. 1 single PSI over 12 months. That is less than the pressure difference between a warm afternoon and a cold morning. It is less than what your tires naturally lose in 2 weeks just sitting parked in your driveway. And think about exactly who is selling you this premium air. The very same tire shop that set your pressure at a destructive 32 PSI and never corrected you. The very same dealership that profits immensely when you have to replace your tires 20,000 miles early. Now they're charging you $40 for compressed air that is just a fraction purer than what you can get for free, complete with a laminated sign at the counter. The only vehicles on the planet where pure nitrogen makes a measurable difference are high downforce race cars and heavy commercial aircraft. Your daily morning commute in a Honda is not that application. But here's what you need to deeply understand. The nitrogen scam, the misleading door sticker, the false security of the TPMS light, none of this is an accident. There's a massive financial system behind all of it, and it has been working on you for decades.
Point 6. Who benefits? Remember the question from the very beginning? Who actually benefits when you are forced to replace your tires 20,000 miles early? Let's actually answer it, because once you see how the full picture fits together, you can't unsee it. 3 specific groups profit from your tire pressure ignorance in 3 different ways. First, the vehicle manufacturers. They deliberately set that door sticker number low, not because it's optimal for the long-term life of your tread, but because it guarantees a softer, cloud-like test drive for consumers and completely covers their worst-case legal liability scenarios. A low number protects them in court. What it does to your actual tire wear down the road is simply not their problem. You already bought the car. Second, the tire shops. They know the correct pressure. The technician who told me about my ruined tires knew instantly what a low 32 PSI does to a lightly loaded daily driver. He sees it thousands of times a year, but knowing the truth and volunteering that information to a paying customer are 2 completely different things. Every time you walk through their front door 20,000 miles early needing a new set of rubber, that is another $1,000 directly into their cash register. They aren't lying to your face, they're just letting you stay wrong. Both cost you the exact same amount of money. Third, the dealerships. Nitrogen fills, automated TPMS resets, and tire inspections are bundled into every single routine service appointment. Every single one of these upsells exists solely because drivers do not understand basic tire physics and do not own a simple $15 gauge. Informed customers don't need any of it. Uninformed customers pay for all of it repeatedly on every visit. Every single layer of this automotive ecosystem extracts money from the exact same source, your lack of tire knowledge. And the permanent fix costs a single crisp $15 bill and 5 minutes of your time once a month. Now you know exactly who has been profiting. 3 distinct groups, one highly efficient system, all of it running smoothly on the exact assumption that you will never look past the retail price tag on the side of the tire. And that corporate assumption leads directly to the absolute biggest trap on this entire list, because once drivers finally figure out the air pressure game, most of them make one final critical mistake that completely wipes out everything they just saved. They go cheap on the tire itself.
Point 7. The cheap tire trap. Here is the basic math that looks completely right on paper, but is completely wrong in reality. A budget Tier 3 tire costs $60. A high-quality premium tire costs $140. Same exact size, same exact application. To the average buyer, the budget option looks like the obvious, common-sense choice to save money. It isn't, and the people selling you that budget tire know exactly why. Here is what that $60 price tag actually buys you: a rubber compound engineered to one single priority, passing the bare minimum government safety certification at the lowest humanly possible manufacturing cost. The expensive silica content is drastically reduced, the tread pattern is heavily simplified, the structural sidewall construction is thinned out. None of that hidden cost-cutting shows up on the glossy label. You just see a cheap price and a size that fits your wheel. That is all they want you to see. I have pulled cheap budget tires off cars at just 25,000 miles that looked like they'd been driven 60,000 miles. Same proper pressure, same regular rotation, same driver. Exactly half the usable life. The low-grade rubber compound breaks down and flakes away faster because it was explicitly designed to be cheap to buy, not cheap to own. But here is where the trap gets significantly more serious than just losing money. Independent wet-braking safety tests consistently show that budget tires take an extra 20 to 30 feet to come to a complete stop compared to premium tires from the exact same speed of 60 miles per hour. Think about that distance. 20 to 30 feet is the exact difference between safely stopping right before the bumper of the car in front of you or hitting them at full highway speed. That terrifying safety gap doesn't show up on the cheap price tag. It shows up later in an insurance accident report. The tire shop knows this. They're simply answering the exact question you ask them. You asked for the absolute cheapest option that fits your car. You never asked what that cheap tire would actually cost you your wallet or your safety over the next 3 years. Let's look at the real math. A premium tire at $140 that easily lasts 60,000 miles costs you exactly 0.23 cents per mile. A budget tire at $60 that burns out at 25,000 miles costs you 0.24 cents per mile. You are paying the exact same amount of money per mile for a vastly inferior product, worse fuel economy, louder road noise, and significantly longer stopping distances the entire time you own it. You didn't save $80 up front. You just paid the exact same total amount for a worse product and put yourself at a much higher physical risk every single time the road gets wet. The cheap tire isn't actually cheap. It is the most expensive decision on this entire list because unlike a wrong pressure setting that you can easily fix in 5 minutes for free, a terrible budget rubber compound is baked into every single mile you drive until you throw them away. Here is what all of this ultimately comes down to. Every single trap on this list runs smoothly on the assumption that you will never look past the surface. The misleading door sticker number, the late TPMS light, the green nitrogen sign, the cheap budget tire, all of it is perfectly designed to extract steady streams of money from drivers who never saw it coming.
Now you see it clearly. Check the stamped sidewall, not the door sticker. Set your daily pressure correctly between 38 and 42 PSI. Check it manually every single month. And when it's finally time for a new set of rubber, run the real cost per mile math before you fall for the cheap option. Smart drivers protect their cars and they protect their wallets. They don't wait around for the wear bars to appear. They prevent the wear from happening in the first place. If this video helped you understand your car a little bit better, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you know who needs to hear it. Small changes today prevent massive repairs tomorrow, and your car will thank you for it every single mile you drive. Tell me down in the comments, what is the most expensive automotive mistake you've learned the hard way that you never want to repeat again? Stay tuned to the channel because every practical tip you learn here adds years of life right back into your vehicle. And trust me, your future self will be incredibly glad you didn't ignore this. See you in the next one. Your car's future starts right there.